In today's story, a homeowner discovers that her HOA president placed a lien on her property before anyone told her she had violated a rule. Before we begin, settle in and enjoy tonight's story. My HOA president filed a lien before sending the fine. The first notice I received from my homeowners association was not a warning or a fine. It was an alert from my mortgage company telling me that someone had placed a lien on my house. I was eating lunch at my desk when the email arrived. The subject line said there had been a change to the title record on my property. I assumed it was routine fraud monitoring until I opened the attached report and saw the name of my homeowners association. Amount claimed, $4,860. Reason, unpaid assessments, enforcement costs, and legal fees. I had no unpaid assessments. My quarterly dues were on automatic payment. I checked the account immediately. Every payment had cleared. I called the management company. A woman named Denise pulled up my address and said, "Yes, I see the enforcement balance." "What enforcement balance?" She sounded surprised by the question. "Architectural violations, landscaping non-compliance, and continuing penalties." "I haven't received any violations. The file shows multiple notices. Where were they sent?" She read my address back to me. "That's my address. Nothing came." Well, the board proceeded according to the enforcement schedule. What exactly did I do? There was a pause while she opened another screen. Improper exterior paint color, unauthorized front yard modification, visible trash receptacle, and failure to maintain approved ground cover. I looked out my office window. My house was beige. The front yard contained grass, 2 shrubs, and a small maple tree installed by the original builder. My trash cans were inside the garage. "I haven't changed the paint," I said. "I haven't modified the yard. The file contains photographs. Send them to me. I'll need board authorization." "You filed a lien against my house based on photographs I'm not allowed to see." Denise lowered her voice. "You should probably speak with the board president." Everyone in Hawthorne Ridge knew the board president. Her name was Cynthia Palmer. Cynthia was the kind of person who could turn checking the mail into an inspection. She walked the neighborhood every morning with a stainless steel travel mug, a visor, and a clipboard tucked beneath one arm. She referred to the subdivision as our community standard, not the community's standard. Our standard, with herself clearly positioned as the person defining the word our. She had been HOA president for 6 years. In that time, she had organized approved holiday decoration windows, prohibited basketball hoops from facing the street, created a committee to standardize mailbox numbers, and sent a 3-page reminder explaining that garage doors should not remain open without active ingress or egress. People joked about her. Nobody challenged her for long. By the time I called, she already knew why. "Rachel," she said brightly, "I was wondering when you'd become engaged in the process. You put a lien on my house. The association recorded a lien. You're the association president. I am one member of a duly elected board. What violations am I supposed to have committed? You were notified repeatedly." "I was. Our records show otherwise." "Then send me the records." Cynthia sighed in the patient way adults sigh at children who have asked why rules exist. "The problem, Rachel, is that homeowners often ignore courtesy notices until enforcement becomes financially meaningful. I didn't ignore anything. That is what everyone says once legal fees attach." She explained that my house had been cited for 4 violations beginning nearly 7 months earlier. Each unresolved violation accumulated daily penalties. The board then added administrative fees, inspection costs, attorney review, and the lien recording charge. I asked why nobody called, emailed, or knocked on my door before claiming almost $5,000. "We are not a concierge service," she said. "Owners are responsible for monitoring their compliance." I told her I would attend the next board meeting. "You may submit a written request to be placed on the agenda." "When is it?" "Board meetings are not structured around individual disputes." "Cynthia," another pause, "Thursday at 6:30. The first 15 minutes are open comment. You will have 3 minutes." Then she added, "Please understand that hostility toward volunteers will not improve your position." I had not raised my voice. She had already decided I was hostile. The first notice I received from my HOA was an alert from my mortgage company. The association had placed a $4,860 lien on my house for violations I had never seen. When I called the board president, she said, "Homeowners often ignore courtesy notices until enforcement becomes financially meaningful." That evening, I checked every piece of mail I had saved for the previous year. No HOA warnings. No certified letters, no violation photographs. The online resident portal showed my dues and nothing else. I took pictures of the exterior from every angle. The paint matched the neighboring houses. The lawn was cut. The shrubs were healthy. The trash cans were behind a closed garage door. The only recent change was a narrow strip of decorative gravel beside the driveway where rain had washed away the mulch. I had installed it after asking the management company whether replacing mulch with similar colored stone required approval. Denise had replied by email. Minor maintenance replacement in existing beds does not require architectural review. I printed that email. Then I searched the county recorder's website. The lien had been filed 12 days earlier. The attached declaration said the board had provided all notices required by the bylaws and state law. It included an itemized ledger. The first fine had been assessed in January. The first recorded inspection happened in February. The lien claimed the January fine had followed a December notice. The dates were backward. The association had supposedly fined me before its own inspector photographed the alleged violation. I assumed it was sloppy record keeping. That was before I saw the photographs. Denise sent them the next morning after, according to her, obtaining Cynthia's permission. The first photograph showed a faded blue house with peeling trim. Mine was beige. The second showed trash cans sitting beside a wooden fence. I had a vinyl fence. The third showed an overgrown flower bed beneath 3 front windows. My house had 2 front windows and no flower bed in that location. Only the fourth photograph was mine. It showed the gravel strip beside my driveway. The image had been taken from the sidewalk in heavy rain. Someone had drawn a red box around the gravel and labeled it unauthorized hardscape. I forwarded the photographs to Denise. 3 of these are not my property. Her reply came 11 minutes later. The board has confirmed that the photographs correspond to the violations in your file. I sent side-by-side pictures of my house. She did not respond. At Thursday's meeting, Cynthia sat in the center of a folding table inside the clubhouse. 4 other board members sat beside her. Denise occupied a smaller table near the wall with a laptop and a digital recorder. About 20 residents had come. Most were there because Cynthia had proposed new restrictions on exterior security cameras. She opened the meeting by reminding everyone that homeowners had no inherent right to disrupt board business. Then she read a civility statement. No personal attacks, no accusations of bad faith, no repetitive comments. No speaking after time expired. She looked directly at me while reading it. During open comment, I placed copies of the photographs on the table. "These are not my house." Cynthia did not look down. "Your 3 minutes have begun." The association filed a lien based partly on photographs of other properties. "That is your characterization. One house is blue. Exterior appearance may change over time. My house has never been blue." A few people laughed. Cynthia lifted her hand. "Outbursts will result in removal," I continued. "The inspection date is after the first fine. The online portal contains no notices." 3 photographs show different architecture. Cynthia said enforcement files were privileged and could not be debated during open comment. "You already debated them enough to put a lien on my title. That statement is argumentative. It is factual." She turned to Denise. "Please note that the owner has refused informal resolution. I haven't been offered one. You were invited to cure the violations. When? Multiple times. Show me one notice with proof of delivery." My 3-minute timer sounded. Cynthia smiled. "Your time has expired." I remained standing. "Are you going to remove the lien? The board will not respond to demands made during open comment." "Then what is the appeal process?" "You may submit a written hearing request." "I did, yesterday." "Then it will be reviewed." "When?" "In the normal course." She called the next speaker. As I returned to my chair, an older man behind me whispered, Check the mailing addresses. His name was Harold. He had lived in the neighborhood for 14 years. After the meeting, he told me Cynthia had used the same tactic against him over a shed. The letters were addressed to my house, he said, but the certified mail tracking showed they went to a post office 2 counties away. What happened? I paid. Why? My wife was in the hospital. I didn't have the energy. How much? $2,700. He nodded toward the clubhouse, where Cynthia was rearranging chairs while directing volunteers. She knows who will fight and who won't. That night, Harold emailed me the tracking number from his old violation. The delivery address was not visible online, but the destination's zip code was. It did not match Hawthorne Ridge. I checked the Lien documents for any certified mail references. There were 6 tracking numbers. Every one had been delivered to the same wrong zip code. I searched the zip code. It belonged to a private mailbox center about 40 miles away. The next morning, I drove there. The clerk would not identify box holders, but when I showed him one tracking number, he confirmed the item had been delivered to a rented mailbox. So the HOA mailed my violation notice to someone's private box. I can only confirm that tracking number was received here. Can you tell me who signed? He printed the public tracking page. The signature consisted of 1 letter. See, that was not enough. It was suggestive, but not proof. I filed a formal records request with the HOA for all notices, mailing receipts, inspection reports, board votes, enforcement policies, and correspondence concerning my property. The bylaws required production within 10 business days. On the 9th day, Denise sent me a link to 486 pages. Most were irrelevant. Blank forms, meeting packets, copies of rules, newsletters, scanned landscaping standards from 15 years earlier. Buried near the end were the enforcement records. The board minutes said it had voted unanimously to fine me at a hearing held on February 8. I had not attended a hearing on February 8. I had not known one existed. The minutes listed me as present. They said I acknowledged replacing approved mulch with commercial-grade drainage aggregate and agreed to restore the original landscaping within 14 days. I had never said those words. I checked my calendar. On February 8, I had been in another state attending a training conference for work. I had airline receipts, hotel records, and photographs showing me standing beside a presentation screen at the exact time. The minutes claimed I was inside the clubhouse admitting fault. That was the first undeniable evidence that the file was not merely disorganized. Someone had created a meeting record around a hearing that never happened. I emailed Cynthia, Denise, and the entire board. I attached proof of travel and asked who had written the minutes. Cynthia responded for everyone. The association does not authenticate homeowner recollections through informal email exchanges. I replied, this is not a recollection. I was 900 miles away. She wrote, travel does not establish that you did not participate remotely. The minutes said I spoke from the clubhouse podium. Her answer was not designed to persuade me. It was designed to avoid conceding anything in writing. The HOA records said I attended a hearing and admitted violating the landscaping rules. The minutes even quoted me agreeing to fix the yard within 14 days. There was one problem. At the exact time of that hearing, I was 900 miles away at a work conference, standing in front of a room full of witnesses. I contacted an attorney who handled property association disputes. Her name was Lisa, and she did not share my surprise. She reviewed the Lien, notices, photographs, and meeting minutes. Then she said, do not pay this. I wasn't planning to. Good. Because once you pay, they'll characterize it as acceptance and close the file. She explained that an HOA could file liens for legitimate unpaid assessments, and depending on state law and the governing documents, certain fines and collection costs. But the association had to follow notice and hearing procedures. If the notices had been deliberately redirected and the hearing fabricated, the lien was vulnerable. Can we make them remove it? We can demand it. If they refuse, we seek an injunction and damages. How expensive? Potentially more than the lien. That was the trap. Cynthia could impose a questionable $4,860 claim, knowing it might cost me twice that to fight. Lisa sent a formal demand letter requiring the HOA to release the lien, preserve all records, and stop adding penalties. Cynthia responded by escalating. 3 days later, I received a new violation by hand delivery. My attorney's demand letter had apparently inspired them to discover that my garage door color was non-compliant. It was the original color installed by the developer. The notice gave me 10 days to repaint it. The next day, I was cited for an unauthorized security camera. I did not own a security camera. The object in the photograph was a small motion sensor light. Then came a notice alleging excessive driveway staining. Then a warning that my maple tree obstructed the approved streetscape sightline. Cynthia had turned my house into a crime scene. Every morning, she walked past slowly. Sometimes she photographed the property. Sometimes she stood at the curb dictating into her phone. Once, while I was pulling weeds, she stopped and said, "Legal aggression has consequences." I took out my phone and began recording. "What consequences?" She smiled immediately. I said, "Litigation has consequences for community resources." "No," you said, "legal aggression. I'm not going to participate in a staged confrontation." She walked away. The next board newsletter contained a paragraph about one homeowner forcing the association to divert money from playground maintenance into unnecessary legal defense. It did not name me. It did not need to. Neighbors began asking why I was suing the HOA. I had not filed anything. Cynthia was controlling the social narrative before the legal one began. At the next meeting, she proposed a special assessment to cover rising attorney expenses. Several residents glared at me. Then Harold stood up. He said, "Before we charge everyone, perhaps the board should explain why notices are being mailed to a private mailbox outside the county." The room changed. Cynthia told him the comment was out of order. Another homeowner asked whether the board maintained a list of delinquent properties. A woman near the back said her sister had received fines after her husband died, but none of the letters arrived until legal fees had accumulated. A younger couple said the HOA claimed they attended a hearing they had never been invited to. Cynthia struck the table with her gavel. "This meeting will not become a forum for conspiracy theories." That phrase did more damage than any accusation could have. People who had assumed their own cases were isolated began comparing details. Afterward, 6 homeowners stayed in the parking lot. 5 had received liens or threatened liens. 4 had missing notices. 3 had meeting minutes claiming they attended hearings they denied attending. Every targeted property shared another feature. Each owner had substantial equity. Harold had bought in the early phase of development. The widow owned her house outright. The younger couple had inherited theirs. I had purchased mine after selling a condo and made a 40% down payment. Cynthia was not targeting the messiest yards. She was targeting houses where a forced sale could produce money. The connection became clearer when one homeowner showed us a letter Cynthia sent after placing a lien. It recommended that owners facing financial difficulty contact a local real estate investor who specialized in quick, private purchases. The investor was called Palmer Residential Solutions. Cynthia's last name was Palmer. Public business records listed the owner as her son. 6 homeowners compared their HOA files in the clubhouse parking lot. Most had missing notices. Several had minutes claiming they attended hearings that never happened. Then we noticed something else. Every targeted house had substantial equity, and the HOA president had been recommending a quick sale company owned by her son. The dispute was no longer about an overzealous woman who enjoyed enforcing mulch regulations. The fines created pressure. The liens damaged title records and complicated refinancing. The legal fees grew each month. Then Cynthia directed overwhelmed owners toward her son, who offered to buy their properties below market value. It was a pipeline. I gave everything to Lisa. She told me not to contact Cynthia again. We filed suit seeking removal of the lien, an injunction against further enforcement, access to association records, and damages for breach of fiduciary duty. 3 other homeowners joined. Cynthia responded with a letter to the entire neighborhood. She accused a small faction of disgruntled owners, of attempting to seize control of the board, destroy property values, and expose the association to financial ruin. She scheduled an emergency meeting. The agenda included a vote to censure residents who harassed volunteers. My name appeared in the supporting packet 12 times. At the meeting, Cynthia brought a private security guard. She had signs placed around the clubhouse stating that recording was prohibited. Our attorney had already confirmed that homeowners were entitled to record under the association rules. When I entered with my phone visible, Cynthia pointed at me. "Turn that off. No, this is private property. It's association property. I'm an owner. You are currently adverse to the association. I still pay dues." The security guard looked uncomfortable. Cynthia ordered him to remove me. He asked whether she had a trespass notice. She did not. He declined. That was the first time I saw her authority fail in public. She had spent years giving instructions that people followed because resistance was inconvenient. The moment someone asked for the actual rule, her certainty became less powerful. The meeting continued. Cynthia presented a slide deck about declining neighborhood standards. She showed photographs of weeds, trash cans, peeling trim, basketball hoops, and my gravel strip. Then she displayed a chart claiming legal costs had increased by 700% due to homeowner non-compliance. A board member named Tom interrupted. He asked why the association's legal invoices included consultations with Palmer Residential Solutions. Cynthia stared at him. Tom said he had reviewed the invoices after receiving our lawsuit. One entry referred to coordination of distressed owner outreach. Another referred to drafting a purchase option information sheet. Cynthia said her son's company had provided free educational resources. Tom asked whether she had disclosed the relationship before authorizing the work. She said everyone knew her son was in real estate. That wasn't my question. She called for a recess. Nobody moved. Another board member asked Denise to display the conflict of interest disclosures. Denise said she had none on file. Cynthia began packing her papers. Then Tom made a motion to suspend her authority as president pending an independent investigation. She said the motion was improper. He asked the association attorney. The attorney, attending by video, said the board could vote. Cynthia turned toward the screen. "You work for the board." "Yes," he said. "I am the president of the board." "You are one director." The vote was 3-1. Cynthia voted against her own suspension. She then announced that she did not recognize the result and attempted to adjourn the meeting. Tom continued without her. The investigation uncovered more than we expected. The private mailbox belonged to Palmer Residential Solutions. Certified violation notices had been sent there, signed for, and placed into the association files as proof of delivery. Some homeowners later received ordinary copies after penalties accumulated. Others received nothing until a lien was recorded. Meeting minutes had been drafted from templates. The language supposedly spoken by homeowners was copied across multiple files. The blue house in my photographs belonged to another targeted owner. The trash cans belonged to a third. Cynthia and Denise had assembled enforcement packets from interchangeable photographs and standardized statements. Denise initially claimed she followed board instructions. Then investigators found commission payments from Palmer Residential Solutions to a consulting company registered in her husband's name. She began cooperating. According to Denise, Cynthia referred to certain homeowners as conversion opportunities. Owners with high equity, recent bereavements, job losses, medical problems, or refinancing needs were considered more likely to sell under pressure. Cynthia monitored public records, neighborhood gossip, and late dues. She then intensified enforcement. Not every violation was fabricated. That was part of why the scheme worked. A dead shrub might be real. A trash can might remain visible for one afternoon. A homeowner might replace a light fixture without approval. Cynthia took small technical breaches and turned them into accumulating financial emergencies. Then her son arrived as the friendly alternative. Our lien was released 2 weeks after the investigation began. The association refunded every fine and legal fee charged to my account. The county records still showed that a lien had once existed, so Lisa required the HOA to file a corrective statement explaining that it had been recorded without proper notice. My mortgage company closed its review. The lawsuit did not end immediately. The association's insurance carrier negotiated settlements with 9 homeowners. Harold recovered his $2,700. The widow recovered legal fees and money she had spent preparing to sell. One former owner had already sold to Palmer Residential Solutions. He joined the case after learning what happened. His house had been purchased for almost $90,000 below its later resale price. That claim became the largest. Cynthia resigned from the board, but insisted she had done nothing wrong. She said she had merely connected distressed residents with an available buyer. She blamed Denise for mailing errors and the management company for inaccurate files. She claimed the phrase, conversion opportunities, referred to converting non-compliant properties into compliant ones. Nobody believed her, but disbelief was not the same as a criminal conviction. The county prosecutor reviewed the records. I was interviewed twice. Months passed. Cynthia continued living in the neighborhood. That was the strangest part. She walked the same route each morning without the clipboard. Some residents crossed the street to avoid her. Others still stopped to talk. She had friends. People who believed she had improved the subdivision. People who thought the board had become too weak after she left. One neighbor told me she may have gone too far, but at least she cared how things looked. As though forged hearing records were the natural endpoint of caring about curb appeal. The association held a new election. Tom became president. The first policy change required all violation notices to appear in the online portal, by email, and by trackable mail sent directly to the property address. Hearings had to be recorded. Photographs required timestamps and visible address markers. Any board member relationship with a vendor had to be disclosed publicly. The new procedures were boring. That was the point. A functioning HOA should be boring. It should collect dues, maintain shared property, and resolve occasional disputes without turning shrubs into instruments of political control. I kept the gravel beside my driveway. The board reviewed it and approved it unanimously. For several months, Cynthia would pause when she walked past it. She never photographed it again. Palmer Residential Solutions eventually dissolved. Her son opened another company under a different name. I do not know whether the former owner recovered the full value of his house. His case settled confidentially. Denise lost the management contract and left the industry, at least locally. The management company sent every resident a letter describing the problem as procedural irregularities under former leadership. That phrase became a neighborhood joke. A fake hearing was a procedural irregularity. Misrouted certified mail was a procedural irregularity. Steering people toward a family business while threatening foreclosure was a procedural irregularity. The language was so bloodless that it almost recreated the original scheme, make something serious sound administrative enough that nobody feels entitled to become angry. About a year later, I refinanced my house. The title company flagged the old lien. I sent the corrective filing, settlement letter, and release. The issue was cleared within a day. Still, seeing Cynthia's signature on the old document produced the same physical reaction as the first alert. It reminded me how little she had needed to create a threat against my home. A board title, a management login, a template, a stack of unrelated photographs. In confidence that most people would pay before asking whether the process was real. Cynthia moved away the following spring. The moving truck arrived early on a Saturday. Nobody organized a farewell. As the truck pulled out, it stopped briefly beside my driveway because another car blocked the street. Cynthia sat in the passenger seat. She looked at my house, then at the gravel strip that had started everything. I expected anger. Instead, she smiled and lifted one hand in a small wave. I did not wave back. After the truck left, I walked to the mailbox. Inside was an envelope from the HOA. For a second, my stomach tightened. Then I opened it. It was the annual notice for the board election, sent by regular mail, email, and the online portal, exactly as the new policy required. 3 copies of the same boring information. I stood there laughing in the street. For years, Cynthia had presented herself as the only person preventing Hawthorne Ridge from collapsing into chaos. In reality, the neighborhood became calmer the moment she lost the power to decide which rules existed, which notices counted, and whose house looked like an opportunity. The Lien was gone. The gravel remained, and for the first time since buying the house, the association behaved like something I belonged to instead of something waiting for me to make a mistake.
You've been listening to Low Light Stories, original fiction for late-night listening. New stories are added regularly, so subscribe if you'd like to hear the next one. Thanks for listening.